I wanted to say to kick things off was that frankly I'm disappointed that we're already checked out midday on Tuesday. We still have a whole lot of work before us that I think we should be doing to solve real problems for people in Oklahoma. We have a lot of great bills sitting there waiting to be heard, and I don't understand why we're seeing so few bills and that we're leaving so early. In my career, sometimes we took Thursdays off, then we started taking Wednesdays off, now it's Tuesdays. If we're gonna do that, we need more time for floor bills, because now we're gonna be in a big rush next week, or a whole lot of good problem-solving bills are gonna die. So that concerns me. You may have heard Senator Hicks debated against the three-day, whatever we called it, adjournment.
Yeah.
So we had to ask permission of the House to have our 3-day adjournment, and Senator Hicks talked against it because she feels like her district especially was talking to her about, why are you all getting so much time off? You know, is that what we sent you there for? And I think people need to see us hard at work, and I'd like to show people that we're actually trying to address the challenges they're facing. So that's where we stand on that. What do you all want to talk about?
I wanted to ask about SB 1592 by Senator Rosino. I know that was supposed to be, it was on the agenda on the
Is that the insurance bill?
Yeah, the insurance bill. I saw it was on the agenda, but then it was never talked about. Do you know what happened?
Well, I can't speak for them, but I did talk to Senator Reinhardt, who's really been the one working on it. You know, he ended up presenting it in committee, and he said they're still working on a floor sub for it. So the language will be substituted. He said it'll be substantively different than that current bill, which I spent quite a bit of time analyzing now. And so I was kind of, I'm sad because actually the bill that he had filed originally is pretty stringent and would really take our protections for people higher for property insurance. But I don't know what the final deal is going to be, but they're working on it.
Mullen's confirmation hearings begin tomorrow. It may take a minute. I know the topic that we're all expecting is immigration, but DHS also has a lot to do, like, overseas FEMA. Do you think he will bring a unique perspective that could help Oklahoma in that role?
Well, you know, I think I'll say again, I hope he's listening, you know, and I hope he's bringing those voices from the Cherokee Nation. You know, there you have a very functional government that's trying to serve its people. There's been plenty of emergencies in his congressional district and in his Senate district, so I hope that he's carrying that with him. Certainly, we've needed FEMA's help before, so certainly any of these ideas of decentralizing or sending FEMA money back to the states, I hope that he can bring up the concerns of being a disaster-prone state, what we face and how we need help.
I guess just in general, what do you expect from these hearings?
I mean, it's hard to be hopeful because I do think he has been, Senator Mullins has mainly been a champion of Trump's policies, of the president's policies. And so I would like to see him with some critical thinking about our policies around detainment and around detaining people without due process. And what we know is many, many people are sitting in our prisons that are being called detention centers, but are actually prisons. And in Watonga, we know there's people sitting there, the Oklahoman reported, who haven't been able to see an attorney in 3 months. And that's deeply concerning, and I hope that he's going to move quickly to address the well-being of people that we're detaining right now, because that's our responsibility. Until those folks have been proven that they actually need some kind of detention, why are they in prison? It's really alarming. So I hope to see some kind of thought about that from Senator Mullins, but I expect him to be speaking from the president's policies, because that's what he's done in the past.
Are you hoping to see a swift confirmation? I know that Drummond and a bunch of other attorney generals submitted a letter yesterday to the Senate leaders, U.S. Senate leaders, hoping for a swift confirmation. They had a whole letter, it was like 2 pages. You know, are you hoping for the same, to see a speedy hearing?
I feel like it's more important that they're thorough in the confirmation process. Let's not treat the confirmation process as if it's a rubber stamp. I think, you know, in this building, when we're told to vet thoroughly, I expect that we're really doing that. We're going to ask the hard questions, that we're going to look at someone's background and really do that well. I hope they do that at the national level. It's a very important position. It is hard to know because Washington, D.C. can make theater about everything. So I hope it's not just performance. I hope that we're actually trying to move towards better governance, taking care of people, and I'm not just talking about people outside the walls. I'm talking about people inside the walls too.
This bill, Senate Bill 1219,
Yeah.
it says weekends and holidays. Have we added Saturday back into that mix?
No, so Senate Bill 1209 is just Sundays and holidays now. So we amended out Saturdays in committee. So now it's just Sundays and holidays. So it'll be an average of one more day to the process, a little bit more around the holiday periods.
And that may not move the needle much, but we talked a little bit about education with Senator Paxton, and he mentioned chronic absenteeism, and I know that evictions kind of play into that, or that, how that happens. Do you think that this bill could possibly move the needle a little bit in helping to keep kids in school and on track?
Yeah, I mean, we had 40,000 evictions filed in Oklahoma last year, and that was down from the prior year. 2/3 of our evictions in Oklahoma have children in the household. I'm talking minor children. And so those kids are in school, right? And we know that they miss school if there's an eviction. We know that it sets them on usually a cycle where they're missing school. So absolutely, even if we reduced evictions by 1% through this measure, you're gonna save 400 families from eviction. That can make a huge difference. And hopefully, let's not forget, because my colleagues reminded me of this a lot, landlords are more likely to get paid if that person pays before a judgment. So it's more likely that the landlord will be made whole if they have enough time to get that money together.
What about the progress that's been made so far, and talking about bills that address education reform? Are you pretty satisfied with the conversation so far?
I mean, I wish that more of us were involved in those conversations. I really feel like we're now waiting to see what the Speaker and Senator Pugh are going to decide, which is not an okay way to make public policy. I think there should be more public discussion. Sending something through the Senate and being told that it's still a work in progress is alarming to me, because that means then we're going to see it later at the last second and we're not going to have any input into it. So I wish we'd had more time with different parts of the ideas that are being brought forward. There's some great things. I appreciate Senator Pugh's focus on early childhood and that early intervention. Absolutely important. And I believe that, most of the commitments I've heard is that there will be some funding to come with that, which will be very important.
Can I ask you about filing coming up on April 1st? Do you think there are going to be more candidates jumping into races, especially specifically legislative races, fewer candidates? I'm also wondering if the legislative pay raise maybe could play a factor in that.
Well, on legislative pay raise, I've had no one say they're willing to run solely because of the pay. In fact, most people don't even ask me that question when I'm talking about people that might run. I mean, I do think it impacts people's decision making, because I've had lots of people say they can't run because of family, needs, the priority of taking care of their families. I mean, I know we're gonna have a lot of Senate candidates. There's already a lot of primaries going. We have some great Senate Democratic candidates. I'll have to figure out how much I can talk about that in this building eventually. But I do know that we'll have a lot of Senate Democratic candidates. And I'm pleased. I mean, we'll see what that final number is. I think some people are just realizing that's coming up. But we've been hard at work on that for a year or more, because we know that we need to encourage good people to run all across the state.
What's recruitment been like? I don't know if you can talk about that, but has it been harder this year, easier this year?
It is always hard to recruit people to run. And I think this year has been very hard, because I think it's super polarized. People watch national politics and they think that that's exactly how it will be locally. I don't think they know how much we do have bipartisan work in this building, and we do work in a very friendly manner with our colleagues most of the time. I mean, that's every week from the pages. I'll say, what surprised you most this week? And they'll say, the Democrats and the Republicans talk to each other. They don't know that, because what they're watching is the media, which says they don't work together. We are up here working next to each other every time. It may be that we disagree on a bill, but we're gonna work on something else together later. And so I think for them to see that in person and see us actually talking to each other is meaningful. But most of the people we're trying to talk to about running for office are worried that all politics is toxic. And we need good people running, absolutely. I mean, I never planned to run for office. It just was the right time at the right place, and somebody said, yeah, you could do that, So I hope more people sign up.
Thank you.
So it's Sunshine Week, and there's still a couple of bills alive that are kind of help that out, but I think you had some stuff earlier that didn't kind of make it, is that right? Or maybe.
See, I've already erased
I
the
know,
bills
I'm
that
trying to
don't
remind
get
myself.
heard, just get erased from my memory cells really quickly. I've been interested in open records. So far, we haven't heard the open records bill. Senator Mann has the open records bill. Oh no, I'm sorry, he has open meetings bill. I don't think we have anything moving on open records, so that concerns me. Open meetings, we did see that bill today, but I don't think that changes a lot. So I would like to see some more meaningful transparency there. I did think Senator Hall had a good bill today, which is there's a ton of reports from agencies and commissions and task forces that's now gonna become public, which is great. Like, I've been complaining for years when we run bills that make some kind of report about public work. Absolutely, that should be made public, right? And how do you find it? How do you even know it exists? And so we're gonna be putting it out there. I'm really pleased about that. I just hope going forward, that's the assumption, that any information that comes out of, state employees working on something should be made public automatically,
And I think Senator Brooks and Representative Kennedy have a non-NDA
Yeah.
kind of thing that's still alive as well.
Yeah. Yeah, Senator Brooks got really concerned about people leaving state employment and being given a severance package that meant that they couldn't talk about that employment. And he's just very worried because he's like, why are we trying to silence state employees? What are we hiding? We need to make sure we're getting the best possible information as people leave state service as well. And we have, 1/5 of our state employees leave every year, which is another whole issue we can talk about. But I think it's a really important bill. Now, there were people that had concerns about what else might happen. Like, are there ways that people could get around that? So I don't know if it's going to get heard, but I guess we'll see next week. Yeah. Anything else? You guys done? All right. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Thank you.